I think that we have been told and fed so many different lies. And I hear different influencers and different podcasts that I really like, and I'm learning a lot. And I read books, and I've heard statements like people are sheep, and people are stupid, and that people need to wake up, and people do need to wake up. I think that what I have found is, I remember a few years ago, my sister, who she had the higher IQ, she did better in school. She was learning things, and it seemed a little dark, a little conspiracy theorist. She switched political parties, and I was trying to understand it. And I was also trying to be able to have an educated conversation with her where I didn't look stupid, right? I needed to be informed in order to have a conversation, and, maybe present my views and my beliefs, because we grew up from the same family, and but we change, right? I mean, that's the whole point of life, is you should evolve. But as I started that journey of really trying to understand things, I started realizing that there was some darkness. There were some things that didn't really make sense, which, looking back, you go through life, and as you're going through life, and getting into the workforce and stuff, you really get in this cycle. And I've heard different people say that people are stupid, or people are sheep, and we don't think for ourselves. And it is true. It is true in the sense that we have gotten where we don't truly think for ourselves. And I didn't realize how much that was the case for me, even. And I would take offense, because even my sister had made comments like, oh, you're people are just sheep, and basically, like, I'm a follower. And I was a follower for sure. I am someone that I guess was a little bit more naive. I didn't think evilly or maliciously to think that other people were necessarily plotting. I took what things were at face value. And even in society, it's like I grew up in California schools, and they kind of really instill this narrative in you that you have to do good in school, and you have to go to college if you're going to be successful, and someone that doesn't go to college is not going to be successful. And so all my friends around me were going to four-year colleges and getting degrees, and I was someone that just hated school. I played sports. I did it as long as I could through school, and then at some point I was like, I just can't. I'd rather work. I wanted to make money, and I wasn't good at school. And I got into this vicious cycle of just working. At times in my life, I've worked up to 3 jobs, and paying bills, and living paycheck to paycheck, and trying to tread water. And you overspend when you get an opportunity to have a little bit of pleasure in life, but you just feel like, there's got to be more to life, right? And there's this narrative that's going on in your head, and the narrative is you grind. You're gonna grind, and eventually you'll retire, and you'll be able to live this life, right, that you're grinding for. And meanwhile, while you're grinding, you're missing out on opportunities for your kids. You're allowing the schools to educate your kids and influence your kids. And you feel yourself just getting beat down, and you're just trying to figure out why. Well, when you start to look outside the box, like for me, I changed my political views, and I voted for Trump. I'm a gay female that grew up in California. So that's, it's kind of crazy that happened. But I started learning about the MAHA movement and RFK, and I started going down the rabbit holes where, they've been called conspiracy theories and stuff like that. But there is a darkness. Money and power breed greed, and greed is evil. And there are people that think a step ahead, that are trying to be malicious and trying to take away from other people. And I think that, for people that don't think that way, I don't think that that's a bad thing. I don't think that they're stupid. I think that they're people that just don't think that way. And not only that, but a lot of people don't even have time to think about it, to think outside of what box they currently live in. You're just trying to survive your part. I mean, everything is just so much harder. Calling, if you have an issue on a power bill, or something that needs adjusting, or a medical, or, I mean, there's like every which way you turn, there's just a pile of bureaucracy that just makes everything so hard to just stay compliant on. And I think that's like, we just get so just caught up. But there is things that are out there that are really stacked against us, and we are basically in a system that is a Ponzi scheme. And it is so important for the average American to not just be like even the ones that voted for Trump and the MAHA or the MAGA, whatever movements. It's not a time for us to be like, oh, okay, now he's going to take care of it and, you know, he's going to run with it. You know, if history is one of those things where we do need to pay attention to it, because we have to make sure that he does those things. And, you know, we have to not be naive in the fact that, you know, is he going to do it for the right reasons? Really, technically, if you start to educate yourself, we shouldn't even be paying taxes. I'm a huge believer in Bitcoin. I'm a huge believer that everybody should own it. The government is going to be buying it. They have been buying it. He's going in office. He's going to buy more of it. Trump will. Other countries are buying it. You have big companies that are using it as a reserve. And to me, it's like we are in an opportunity for the average American to buy some Bitcoin and hold it as a reserve for you to have wealth. And it's not an ETF on an exchange to keep the big banks still owning our assets. You know, the ETF was great, I guess, if you bought into Bitcoin early and it's, you know, contributed to the price increase. And all of this is going to continue to a price increase. So imagine if you had an opportunity to buy gold when gold was extremely cheap. And so I just, you know, I'm very passionate about we really do have to educate ourselves, and we have to stop like just living within our box and surviving it and thinking outside that box and trying to figure out what's really happening. Because it is up to us, like the average person, to be having conversations with one another. If you learn something, share it. You know, I don't believe that it's a two-party system and that we need to fight and it's about all these different things that are going on. You know, it's all smoke and mirrors to take like our eyes off the prize. Like we all want to be able to, you know, contribute in society, work hard, but also be able to take care of our families and our kids to be safe and to have respect for us and love and compassion for other people and be involved in the community. And there's so much more to life than what we're currently doing. And if we don't, as people, start to just look at other alternatives, think outside the box, bring back creativity that was taken from us in our schools, you know, there's so much more to life. And it's, you know, I get kind of emotional because I've done, you know, I feel myself evolving and I'm constantly looking to ways to challenge myself and especially my beliefs. And I'm just like, wow, like, you know, when you really start to pick those apart, you kind of feel stupid. Like, how have I missed this? And then I feel relieved because I'm like, okay, that's why I'm so depressed, or I've been so frustrated, or I've had so much like overwhelming, like you don't feel like you control anything. So, you know, education and learning and thinking outside the box, all of that is empowering. And it's crazy. I have more hope now because now it's like, okay, I don't see just my box. I'm like starting to see what's around me and how I can do things to change what my current box is and to not even have a box. So this is a huge ramble. I haven't posted in a while, but I was listening to a podcast with Robert Breedlove, and I really have been enjoying his podcasts. They're long. I listen to them while I'm, you know, loading at work, but it just kind of gets your wheels spinning and stuff like that. And you know, there is a potential for us to change as a society and for us to have a quality of life. But I truly do think it takes the average person, the middle class, the, you know, whatever rank or wherever you are in life, to just be engaged. But anyways, I'm going to end there because I could ramble on. I have like 5 other things in my head that I want to talk about, and I won't be able to connect them properly for it to make sense. So thank you for anybody that listened.